Hey there guys, welcome back to another replay cast by me, Walnut. This is a Diamond Master game, as you can see by the loading screen, on Dusk Towers. Again, this replay is from r/castit. Absolutely fantastic congregation of gentlemen. So, over here in the bottom left-hand position, we have our red Zerg player, Wobsitopia. That is a fantastic name, to be honest. And then up in the right, yes, I know my directions. Up in the top right-hand position, we have Sugarbiscuit. Are you a sassy fat black woman? Girlfriend. Nah. I don't know. Sugarbiscuit is one of the best names I've ever heard. So, both players are going pretty non-cheesy right now, so that's relatively great. Last game we saw some proxy shenanigans, so hopefully this game will get a more standard macro-y sort of thing, and it looks like that's what we'll see here, as we have a hatchery first by our beautiful Zerg player. Oh my god, look at this gas. So I've heard the pattern that the SCV goes is completely RNG. It's not like a set pattern. Oh, wait, what's the button? What's the button? No, how do you rotate it the other way? Damn it. Oh, wait, there's still one building the thingy. Look at him. Where's he gonna go? I bet he's gonna go here. He's gonna go right here. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah! Oh my god, I called it. Look, I'm a god. I'm a god among men. So, we actually have some pretty odd Overlord positionings right now. I'm pretty sure these are just to scout proxies out, because he does not want to die to any dumb garbage, since he's going hatch first. It's going to be not a Reaper, which interests me greatly, because generally what you'll see is the Reaper into a CC, and then you get a quick factory after that, but instead it's going to be a Marine. I believe this is the... No, that's not the skin for the Marine. The Marine skin looks pretty cool, by the way. I've actually seen very few skins recently, and it makes me super sad. I think the Overlord skin is probably the sexiest, though. Idle SCV. Oh, put that away. Put it back in the mineral line. Bag it and tag it, friend. Oh, he listened. So we have our queens on the way here by our Zerg player. Super standard stuff. He will be going for speed, not going to get too greedy and go for his third base too quickly, but he should be taking that relatively soon. We have another barracks and a factory, so this looks like it's going to be a Bio Liberator style play. This isn't TVP. Guys, you see this right here? It's not Protoss. If this were the campaign and you like moused over, instead of saying like Wobsitopia, this would say Zerg. This would say enemy Zerg. That's all it would say. Any of you who have played the campaign get that sick joke? Anyway, so it's going to be like a bio mine into like probably Liberator style. But it's mainly for like biomine medevac, and then eventually you transition into Liberators if you're feeling it and you want to be a disgusting human being. You can do that sort of thing. But the Overlord spread is actually pretty good here by our Zerg player. Oh my god. It makes me so mad when I miss these Overlords when I'm playing, because like everybody sees exactly what I'm doing. I wonder what these Marines are like. Oh. Alright, so they're going right here. I think that these Marines are probably just scouting for... Ooh! Zergling wraparound. Do it! Do it! Literal god. Oh my god, there's nothing left. Which one got the kill? Which one got the kill? Wait, did one of them get both? Oh my god, one of them got both of the kills, guys. I think it's this one right here. What? Which one? Yeah, this one got... Oh my god, god among men. So he has no idea if there's a third base or not, and there's actually not. So... Our Zerg player is playing very conservative here. He should have gotten a third base by now. If this was HOTS, he would have had his third base about 30 seconds ago, accounting for the time change. It would have been about 6 minutes in HOTS time. Look at me knowing timings, because I used to play a lot of Heart of the Swarm. Alright, there's the third base. So a little bit late, but it's not going to affect much at the end of the day, considering the Terran player is playing incredibly... Oh, is that a siege tank? Are we going to see the sexy 2 medevac drop with 2 siege tanks? Please tell me we see this drop, because it is absolutely amazing. What you do is you take 8 Marines in one medevac, and then 2 siege tanks in the other. You drop the 8 Marines down, and then you siege up the 2 siege tanks, and then you just kind of sack the 8 marines, and you're able to lift up and drop off the siege tanks at will with the 2 medevacs. It's so good. We used to see it a lot in GSL. We saw it in SSL, I think, a couple of times. I'm pretty sure we've seen it in Pro League, but I'm not sure since that's a little more recent. People have stopped doing it as of late. It was done a lot in Code A, but I haven't seen it yet in Code S, though I am about 2 days behind in that. So, we do have Roach Tech, as well as Resonating Glaives. Galil Reconstitution here. Roach Speed for our Zerg player. I want to take a quiz on all of the upgrades in StarCraft, and I don't want it to be multiple choice either, because multiple choice is for losers. You know, no. I want to say, like, what is Roach Speed called? And I want to be like Galil Reconstitution. That's the test I want to take. There's a Spire going down, and this interests me a little bit, because it's like Roach, Bane, Ling, Muta, and that's kind of strange. Ooh, lots of Ravagers. So the Terran player is going to aggress here a little bit, but it's quickly going to be thwarted by this massive amount of... Ooh, hot pickup. He gets 4 and will be able to scoot on out. The Zerg player is not going to be able to really press this location very much with the siege tank here, unless the Zerglings get a really nice surround on the Marines, and the siege tank splash damages those too much. The Muta production has started up now. It's only a handful so far, and this is actually a pretty sick play, because this kind of all corrosive biles here on the siege tank, not any medevacs in range to be able to pick that up. So we're going to lift off the command center back up into the main base. There is 2 siege tanks here, so he will be able to hold this off, but he is going to take damage on his command center, will have his economy delayed for a short period of time. And this is actually super sick by our Zerg player, and I didn't really think about it earlier, but by showing this many Roaches and Ravagers, what he's doing is he's investing enough that the Terran player continues to go think, ooh, that is some hot movement. Hot movement. And what he's doing is he's showing enough Ravagers and Roaches to trick the Terran player into building more siege tanks. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's building a ton more siege tanks. And you don't want these against Mutas. News flash, all of you new... Zerg, no. Newsflash to all of you StarCraft players out there. You know what doesn't shoot up? Siege tanks. Look at these guns. They look like they shoot up. It's a trick. This is like 45-degree angles, guys. This is for those hot, like, what do you call it? Like the arc shots. This man's not shooting up anytime soon. So these Mutalisks are going to go pretty much completely uncontested. But what makes this play absolutely 100% sexy is that he's not committing enough into Roaches that it's going to cost him any. They already paid for themselves by costing the mining time at the 3rd base location, as well as forcing the cancel on the orbital command, which means a lot of lost SCV build time and a lot of extra mules that he doesn't have because he didn't have the energy ticking up in the first place. So these mutas are heading in a kind of odd trajectory here, directly into a bunch of Marines. We'll back those up. I think what he should do is he should send them in this general direction, up into an arc in the main base. There's a missile turret already here, and no missile turret at the 3rd base, but there's a bunch of Marines here. So now he's shown the Mutalisks, and he does see all of those. There's an infestation pit already finished here, so we should probably be going into Ultralisks pretty soon, and I think we all know what kind of time Terran players have against Ultralisks, and I'll tell you, hint hint, it's not a good one. So, if we check out the vision, the Terran player has not actually scouted the main base at all. He has no idea there's an infestation pit. He has no idea there's a Spire, other than the fact that there's mutas. He doesn't really know a whole lot here, which is, you know, a little bit unfortunate for him. But he'll figure it out, I think. At this phase in the game, if you have a 4-base Zerg, which, I mean, he hasn't scouted it, but he can assume at this point. If you don't have, or excuse me, if you have a 4-base Zerg, this many gases, he's probably not going to stay on Roachling Muta long, especially considering how many siege tanks and how many Marines there are up. And the only really logical change here is to go into Ultralisks, and Ultralisks just kind of wreck his composition, because look, it's pure Marine. He has not a single Marauder, nary a Marauder in this composition, you see. Mutas will have to back up. He probably could pressure this area right here. I mean, sack like a Mutalisk or two and kill this missile turret, and then start picking off SCVs, and that would force the Terran player to go back. Because right now, he doesn't really have what he needs to stop this. There's a bunch of Banelings finishing up right now, but Baneling speed isn't done yet. There's not creep in this location. There's not Ultralisks yet. All he has is a handful of Ravagers and some Mutas to sort of solidify his position against 2 siege tanks, 48 Marines. This man is a legend in Marines. Siege tanks will siege up. They're almost in range of this hatchery here, and the Zerg player is going to have to go for it. We'll move right on top of those siege tanks. Very poorly defended by the Terran player, excuse me. He backs up his Marines way too far, able to get right on top of the siege tanks, pick those off, and now he's right on top of the Marines, and there's nothing to defend these. He does lose all of his Mutalisks, unfortunately, and the Ravagers will be able to be picked off, but the entire, I would say, force of this push has been severely weakened. He's got a handful of Marines here, but there's 30 more Lings on the way. Eventually, these Marines are going to die. If he had a solidified position with a couple of siege tanks, I think this game would be over for the Zerg player. But right now, all he's losing is his 4th base location, which at the end of the day it's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Baneling speed is done now. Very nice splits here by our Terran player, but he has significantly fewer Marines than there are Zerglings. Banelings roll on up here, and the Marines split again. Very nice play here by our Terran player, and he does end up pushing these Zerglings back while taking a 4th base of his own. But I think this is still, like, it's not a perfect spot for our Zerg player. But I think that he should be able to recover from this as long as he micros well, doesn't throw away all his units. He's, I believe, even on upgrades. Could be wrong about... No. Terran's actually ahead on upgrades. But these Banelings on creep are able to clean everything up, and it is super fine for our Zerg player. Just a handful of Marines, handful of medevacs here for our Terran, and while he's not forced to back up, I don't know, man. It's getting worse and worse for our Zerg player the longer and longer that he can't push this back. But look at that, we have Ultralisks on the way, and once these Ultralisks pop, this force is... it's not very strong, guys. That's all I'm gonna... It's pretty weak. There are no Marauders here, and Marauders are what you really want against Ultralisks. I believe Marines do like 1 damage a shot against Ultralisks with the armor upgrades. So he does push forward on a creep here, getting a little bit over ambitious. He's wasting a lot of energy on his medevacs, and he's just kind of bleeding out units. And while it's sort of okay that you do that because you are ahead on worker supply, you are ahead on bases, you want to make sure you don't throw away so many units that you aren't able to recover in the future. And it looks like that's sort of what happens. Is if we look at the units tab, he's got 6 siege tanks and 23 Marines, and I wouldn't say that's enough to stop the Zerg's army if he continues to build Ultralisks like he has. This is 7 Ultralisks. You know what that does against this army? It eats it for breakfast. Let me tell you, this army right here, this is a fucking bowl of Cheerios. This is like what you eat to lower your bad cholesterol. Big old Marine siege tank sandwich. Like, this is not enough to stop 7 Ultralisks and the big swell of Marines, Zerglings that's going to be coming relatively soon. We do have a Ghost Academy on the way here for our Terran player. The average response to... Wow, this is a really awkward Mutalisk. The average response to Ultralisks, which is snipe and all that sort of stuff. Thank you so much, Novigrit, for the compliment. I try my best. So he does have a fortified position here. Lots of siege tanks, lots of Marines, but I think that if the Zergling split is good and he's able to get on top of... Ooh, going in for the flankaroonie. I like this. Lots of Banelings being morphed. He will be able to crash in on top of those Marines. And what I really like about this play is what you do is you send the Ultralisks in first with the Banelings behind. The siege tanks splash onto the Ultralisks, and the Banelings are saved, and then the Banelings roll on top of the Marines, so the Marines are forced to back up, and those leave the siege tanks exposed, and we see that's exactly what he's doing here. The siege tanks are exposed, he runs in, picks off those siege tanks, Ultralisks start chewing away, whoa, sorry about that camera there, start chewing away at the Marines, and look at how little damage they do against these Ultralisks. These things are tickling them. We thought the Sentry had the tickle cannon, literally look at the amount of damage they're doing. It's nothing. I don't believe he's lost a single Ultralisk yet. There goes the first one due to the snipes of the ghosts up there. But, I mean, he loses the 4th base. This is some sick Sim City though, so I don't think he should really push into this location. He's losing a lot of Ultralisks here for not very much on the Terran front. He is able to push up this now, and once he gets past that little block of Marines, I think this should be game. There's not a whole lot left here for him. And, oh, wait, there's a drop here, but there's a handful of units here to defend it. So I think at the end of the day, the Zerg should clean this up, and then the Terran's just kind of screwed from here, to be honest. Like, there's still 40 drones for the Zerg player. He's still got a ton of tech. He's got 32 more Zerglings on the way, and the moment he cleans this up, there's just nothing left for the Terran player. And really, at the end of the day, this can all be sort of traced back to the fact that there certainly aren't enough Marauders here. You cannot have pure Marine against this sort of army. Ultralisks have so much armor. 7 damage reduction on a unit that only does like 8 damage to begin with. Like, it's just not even fair is what it is. Ultralisks are really fucking strong right now. Like, there are Liberators here now, and these do like 75 damage a shot. But, to be honest, like, it's too little too late. He will be able to clean up the Ultralisks, but he's got no infrastructure left. He's got, like, 1 mining base, and it's not even really mining. Okay, so he's got no mining bases, and he's got no infrastructure. There's literally nothing left to build units. Okay, there's 1 starport, guys. I lied. I'm the worst caster, NA. He's got one starport to produce units, and he's got 16 SCVs. There is literally no way he comes back from this position, guys. He's just sort of like, this is one of those moments where you just like, you siege up your Liberators, and then you like think about your life. You just sort of consider it, you know? Like, think about all the stuff I had to do to get here. I mean, eventually this man has to tap out, right? Like, you can't tell me that he doesn't tap out for the next 30 minutes. All right, no, we got 6 seconds. There you go. Ugh, GG. Pro tip, guys. This is really important. If you're playing, like, I know Marauders aren't very good against Ultralisks now that they got nerfed, but you need to make at least some Marauders, because the thing is they tank up against the Ultralisks a little bit better, and they provide a little bit of extra damage besides the snipes, because sometimes the snipes are a little bit inconsistent, where it leaves the Ultralisks with, like, maybe 50 HP left, and you don't want to waste another snipe, but it still takes like 30 seconds for a bunch of Marines to kill that. So you want a couple of Marauders at the very least, like, I don't know, like a dozen, 2 dozen Marauders, and those will be able to snipe down the remaining HP on those Ultralisks. Anyway, sick game. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.